Hi, in this video I'm going to talk about connecting Current RMS webhooks to Make. So to start with, we need to get an API key from Current so we can set up the webhooks and view the webhooks. So if you don't know already, we go to System Setup, Integrations, API. I've already made a connection for Make, so we're going to copy the key and I'm going to keep a list of important information in my notes here. I'm just going to copy it here just for quick access. Okay, so we're going to head to Make. Scenario. So we're now going to create a scenario and we're going to call it Webhook Setups. Okay, so first we're going to create a module to basically trigger an API and tell Current where to point the webhooks. So we're going to create this module HTTP and we need to make an API auth request. We're going to add a key and we're going to call it, let's just call it hub current API key. I need our API key, which is here from earlier. Oh, need to include that bit there. Drop that in there. The API key placement is in the header, and then the API key placement name, and I'll put this information in the description, is X-AUTH-TOKEN. So that goes in there. I'm going to save that. And that's our hub API key. Okay, so for the URL, let's head to the Current RMS API documentation. And we want to create a webhook. So this is the URL, and we want that section there. We'll put that in there, and then the method is post, and then we need to add some headers in. So the name, and I've got this already, so the header name is X-SUBDOMAIN, and then the value will be your domain, so this will be hub. Okay. I'm going to just save that quickly. So we need to do a request. So that's going to be raw and the content type is going to be JSON. We want to pass the response and then we need to add the request in. So the request will be basically this. If we just grab that, add this in. So we need to call give the webhook a name. So for this one we're going to do create quarantine. Okay, and then the actual event name is called quarantine create. So basically every time a quarantine is created on Current, a webhook will be triggered, and then the idea is then we'll direct that to Make. Just paste that. And now we need the URL which Current will target to. So we're just going to save this for now, and we are going to create a webhook. So we add here, we add the module webhook, and we're going to use this custom webhook here. So we're going to click add, and we're going to call it create quarantine, and we're going to hit save. Now what we need to do now is copy this address. Just going to hit save here, and then we need to replace this URL here. So we paste that, hit save. And now we're going to run this module. We've got a status code of 200, which is good. And then if we look at the data, that has now created this quarantine webhook. So now if we go back to the webhook, we're going to redetermine the data structure. Okay, so now we need to create a quarantine. So let's just go to one of these. Let's pick a light. Let's add it to quarantine. Just give this a name, test. So we're creating a quarantine. And if we go back to here, it's now successfully determined. So this has now worked. So what we've done is we've gone into Current, we've created a quarantine. That's then triggered the URL back to Make. Make's now detected it and it's now linked it up. So we're going to hit save. So now every time we do a quarantine, this webhook is going to pick it up. So what we can also do is do a quick API call to Current and just view all the webhooks just to make sure they are set up. So what we can do, we've already got this module set up for a post. So let's clone this and then we'll change it to a get. And then we can change the body type to empty. Let's save that. And then if we do a quick run, this will give us a status code 200, which is good. And then if we look at the data, look at the webhook, and we can view our quarantine create webhook. So we know everything's working fine. Okay, so that's how you set up webhooks for Current. Hope this video was of use. Thanks for watching.